Hi guys, welcome to the summit. We've got a great week. We've got a great panel. We're bringing back an old dear friend, and we also have a ton of fun matches to talk about. Plus, the live event is happening pretty much while we're recording this, so that's pretty neat. So we're just gonna get right into it, and yeah, let's go. Early light. What's so bright? All right, guys, and welcome to the Tape 3 Reactors Summit. This week, like I said, we're going over all the week's matches. We're going to go over next week's matches, which happen to be the live event, and we're also talking about all the fun things that happened in the Schmoedown world. We have a great, great panel. Of course, we're going to start it out with the person who's always around, Malcolm Lay. How's it going?
I'm going pretty good. Just glad to have someone back, so...
Who could it be? Who could it be? You've seen the thumbnail, so you know who it is. We also have Chris Clark. Hi, Chris. How's it going?
Hello, Chris Smith, the smithiest of Smithians. I am great. I am awesome. This was an interesting match week. Everything here is going to be rock stars to the sun. Let's burn this circle. Let's rock it to the stars. Let's do this, Kristen.
Rock stars to the sun. And sometimes you say things. I don't understand where you get them, but I like them. You know who else likes them? Manning Franks.
What?
Who's back? Welcome back.
What? Guys, I graduated college. It's over. I'm a real adult right now. A real adult.
Yep.
not like it.
Are you ready to talk about some Schmoedown, man?
I am. I finally caught up after everything, so I am ready.
Perfect. My dogs are also prepared. They were very excited about these matches this week because they love watching movies with me. So a lot of the movies they watch are Inner Geekdom movies. And this week was full of Inner Geekdom wonderfulness. Just tons of geekiness. It was great. So obviously, first match that we had was the long-awaited match between former teammates Hector Navarro and Adam Hlavik. And these guys really, I thought in general, there were some weak parts, but outside of a few of those, they both had, pretty solid efforts. We're going to get into the discussion about the match. We're going to start it out with our returning guy who may or may not be caught up on the Schmoedown. We're going to find out if he's good at BSing his way through talking about the Schmoedown, right, Danny?
Yes. This match in particular, what I found really interesting is the fact of these are two friends who used to be on, if you guys watched Superhero News, and now they're together with Hyper RPG. What I find interesting is their dynamic. Already at the top of the match, you can see that these guys are friends. How Hector came out is probably one of my favorite. It's just light. It's just fun. He was trying to flash him the middle finger at him, and Hector had none of it. Gave him a big old hug. This is just a fun match. It's a fine match. There was nothing spectacular about it. Hector hurt me a little bit with his lack of Middle Earth knowledge, but you know what? I'll live. Overall, I think this was a fine match. Nothing special, and kind of disappointing in the idea, considering Hector used to be the champion. We showed this was a huge weak spot for him, but congratulations to Adam for pulling it to the very end.
Definitely, and I'm super excited for Adam because he has played quite a few amounts of these matches that he has not won or that he's gotten real close to winning, and he finally has one under his belt. So that's awesome. Good for you. Looking forward to seeing you, progress into the next round of this tournament that we'll discuss when we talk about the cutscenes. Malcolm, what did you think about this one?
Yeah, this was pretty much a standard match. Hector not knowing Middle Earth was Adam really capitalized on that opponent's choice because he knows Hector so well, so he knows what to give him that will trip him up, and it was to see Adam pull out the win. It's be interesting to see who goes up against next.
Yeah, I'm really interested to see who he gets matched up with. Because that will definitely, I think depending on what the other person's strengths are, will really actually determine if Adam wins this next match, because Adam does really well against people who have similar strengths as he does, and he kind of gets out of his depths a little bit more when someone has a little bit of that broader knowledge base, which is what we saw in that 5-way where Donica was just a little more, I mean, he was just a little bit better at some of the categories that, you know, Hlavik wasn't, but it'll be interesting to see what happens in the next round. Last but not least, Chris, what was your thoughts on the match between Adam Hlavik and Hector Navarro?
You have Superhero News, which I think is one of the most underrated teams that have ever graced the show. They were really solid, but they lost against Heroes with Robert Meyer Burnett, and you know what? They had it coming. But them as a team, they were actually still super solid. I think Adam is a great player, and Hector never deserved to get the belt off of Burnett. Still never deserved to get the Burnett belt. So I've always had it in for Hector, but Adam did a fantastic job, and on top of that, they knew each other's strengths and weaknesses from being on the same team. So even if, like I saw on the group, that, you know, Hector, had he not made so much of a hissy fit when he got what he spun first before he respun, Adam knew that was his weakness anyway, and he would have given it to him anyway on that opponent's choice. So, you know, it is what it is. I feel like this match was fine. It was great. It was a civil war of sorts. We've had better civil wars, but you know what? They did their job, and they made an entertaining match.
We have had better civil wars. The American Civil War, Captain America Civil War.
Civil War.
Funny.
My God.
Lots of Civil Wars.
So many Civil Wars, guys.
Are we equating
this? I prefer Captain America Civil War over the American Civil War, but you know, that's just because it's a little more entertaining to watch, you know, the Captain America version of it, but that's fine. It's fine. No big deal. No big deal. So yeah, I thought that this was an interesting match in terms of these people whose their biggest strengths are comic books. I feel like they hardly ever get comic book questions in the second round. Like, it's very interesting to me. Like, Jay, like, didn't get, like, I feel like he hardly had any comic book questions for his strengths, which are Marvel, not so much on the DC end. And I feel like he just didn't have those questions come up for him. And so that's really interesting for me to see, because I felt like this first match was a lot of that too, where their second round questions were pretty varied. Third round questions kind of the same way, but it's, I mean, you gotta know everything. And if you don't know your Star Trek, there's not that many movies out there. And if you don't know your Lord of the Rings, there's not that many movies out there. So, I mean, people just got to study. I don't know. How do you study for Inner Geekdom? It's like you just watch the movies, I guess, a lot. I don't have a problem with that. All right, so we're going to move on. We're going to talk about the cutscenes later because we're going to have a discussion about what's going on. But we are going to move on to the Patreon match. So this was between Janine the Machine and Emma Fyffe. This was something that they kind of had teased a little bit earlier with Janine calling her out, and you know, the build up to it was actually pretty fun. Janine's a great heel. I think she plays her part very well, not just on camera, but in the Facebook group and on Twitter, and she plays it up really, really well. And Emma, you know, Emma's got some fire behind her as well. And there was lots of porgs in this match, and that's all I'll really say about this match. But Malcolm, what did you think about this one?
Yeah, I mean, there's been pretty much a week for just like standard matches, which nothing much actually happened in them. I mean, you got to hear lines I never thought I'd hear at a Schmoedown before, like Rachel's bringing an extra pork back up. So, but it was a fun match, and yeah, and I mean, like, Emma was left with a big deficit that's really hard to come back from. But yeah, I mean, it was what it was.
Yeah, that second round for Emma was definitely not her best showing. And that's really, I mean, just where the wheel can screw you. And we'll see it later pretty much in every match this week where the wheel just really screwed someone over. Malcolm, what were your thoughts about this one between Janine and Emma?
I'm assuming
Malcolm,
you mean Manning.
Manning. Jesus.
Yes. Yes, I was about to say. I feel like this has happened before. Flashback. Anyway, no, what I thought of it, this was kind of like a, first off, the machine, I just want to give props. There are a few people who are as active in the Facebook group as she is, and I want to just, like, you know, say props to that for the interaction you have with the fans. Fantastic heel. This cemented the fact that she is someone we need to look out for in the future. The Viper Squad are something now, a force that we need to look out for, especially last week with the victory for Stacy. This proved that. And yeah, as you said, this was not like an amazing match, but it was, in fact, I would say, a fine match. There was a deficit that Emma was having that was something you could not come back from at a certain point unless a miracle had happened. I'm not saying it's not possible, but at that moment it was just something the wheel was not on her side. And when Janine got rom-coms, that was when the nail in the coffin was almost set, and when she started racking those up, yeah, it was kind of hard to watch a little bit once you started getting the double digits to the single digit.
Yeah, the real bad blowout matches are always a little bit hard to watch, just because you do feel bad for the other person. Sometimes the match just doesn't go their way. But Chris, what were your thoughts on this one?
Janine is a machine, and she is huge, and she is a machine that's a great personality. Her personality is huge. She has great charisma, and she eats up the scenery as much as anybody else in the league. And this is somebody who at the start was just a reactor like us. She was a fan like us. And how she's grown and morphed into this character is so beyond amazing that I'm super happy for Janine. Emma, well, good thing that she had 2 matches this week, because she kind of dropped the ball on this, but it's all good. It's all good. She's fine. She was challenged to this match, and she even admits that she's never going to step back from a challenge, and that shows that she had a lot of heart. The energy in this match between the 2 players superseded the actual match itself. It wasn't as good of a match as we've had in the past. It's objective. But just from a personality standpoint, Janine, I can't wait to see more of. And this machine versus android match is going to be one that the Industrial Revolution would sneer. I don't know why I put that in there, but you know what? The Industrial Revolution would be proud of that.
Which Industrial Revolution? The English one, the American one?
I'm just trying to make this more history based, since I mentioned the Civil War. I felt that's where I was going with the joke. But if you guys can laugh, please. If not, just move on.
Do we have a history quota we have to make up now, or?
Yeah, you have to reference
history with take 3
and everything. So, Kristen, please go in.
Oh wow.
Are we good? Like,
yeah,
we're good. I think I made edit. I made edit Abe. Not edit Abe. I made Abe an edit that he needs to edit, but it's all good. That's but anyway,
this won't edit it. This will all be in the final cut.
It will probably be in the final cut. Yeah, but anyway, the match was great, and it was basically the Industrial Revolution Schmoedown version. So it was great. I mean, I meant to say that the next whatever. Okay, this is a mess. I'm sorry. Move on. Oh God,
I'm getting too old for this.
Beautiful mess.
All right. Yeah, I mean, I agree with you. I think that the focus of this match was not so much on the points, it was on the personalities. You've got Emma Fyffe, who's really coming through in the Schmoedown as an excellent, not just interviewer like she was in the past, or a competitor. She's now a manager. She's now on the desk. I mean, she's really pulling through as kind of a lead personality of the Schmoedown, and that's really coming through in her character as well during her matches. I think she's got a little more sass coming into them. I think she's calling some people out that she probably wouldn't have done before. And, you know, you have Janine, who, like I said, she's really just been embracing this heel role, and she's having so much fun with it. And the dynamic between her and Jay, and then their new teammate Markia, I think is really great. And also when you include Stacy, this is a really dynamic faction you have with the Viper Squad that can just kind of like, I mean, they just talk shit and they do it so well. So it's great to see because, you know, the other heels can kind of go there as well. I mean, Team Action certainly knows how to talk shit about people. You have the Lion's Den who certainly know how to do it. But I feel like with the Viper Squad, you're just getting a different class of heel. They're a little more, I mean, they're still in your face, but I feel like they're like more reserved about their heelness. I feel like they come at you at a different angle, and it's very refreshing to see that. So that's that match. I really did enjoy this for the personalities. Whether or not the actual match itself was something that I enjoyed is, you know, it was a fun match to watch, but it was sad as well. So there were lots of porks, so it makes up for all the things. So last but not least, we have the match between Emma and Jay Washington. This match I really enjoyed. I think that the Viper Squad and Emma, you know, the Fife Club, the you know, upcoming clash between these guys, like I think it's coming. I mean, I feel like all the matches we're getting between these, you know, two factions are leading up to some big rivalry, and I think this is like the perfect way to start that rivalry. Really, is just put the two managers head on head in the, you know, in the thing of their choice, in Inner Geekdom, and say, all right, go at it. And it was just the managers; they weren't allowed to bring anyone else with them. I think that was really fun. But this has a few things that we are going to discuss a little bit, so we're going to go in with our regular thoughts on it. And Chris, what did you think about the match between Emma and Jay?
Oh, Emma and Jay had a lot of promise at the start. Like they only, I know their round one was booty cheeks, but look, they both I think only got 4 points or 5 points in round one out of a possible 10. But you know what? They were still neck and neck. It's when round two basically became the Boston Tea Party for Jay. He essentially.
Damn, those rappers.
Well, look, he essentially, he floundered because of his luck. He essentially, he did pretty. What was it? DC movies. He kind of didn't have as much to gain in that as he wanted, and he kind of dropped the ball on a couple questions. But when Emma got Harry Potter, the nail was already put into the coffin, and he could just see it on Jay's face, and the atmosphere around him just sunk and sunk and sunk. And it was sad, but you know what? Jay, I still contend Jay is a great player. He hasn't won a lot, and the only time he won was bullshit. But when he did win, I mean, when he did lose, he actually put up a good fight in the Manager Bowl and the 5-way Inner Geekdom that he was in. He does, and he has his knowledge. It's just that he just didn't, the luck wasn't on his side for round two, and that kind of is what killed the match for him. So it was sad to see, because I felt like he was a little bit on fire, and then round two hit and he kind of flustered.
I wouldn't say that his only win was bullshit, but that's fine. You can.
I think it is. No, I think it is.
I wonder why.
I wonder why. It's not like your favorite competitor or one of them lost in that match. Jay, I think, is a wonderful human being. I did actually want him to win this one, but that's fine. I mean, I like Emma too. I think Emma's great, and I root for Emma all the time. I just kind of wanted Jay to have one. I feel like after the year or the last couple months that this guy has had, I really just kind of wanted him to win. We're going to head over to Manning. What were your thoughts on this one?
Well, as a silver lining, the people in his Viper Squad are winning matches. So as a manager, he is doing great. So that's a silver lining we can look at right there.
Playbook right there.
There you go. Yes. All right. Anyway, the match in and of itself, these two competitors have history. History in the sense of, like, these two people have been at each other's throats for quite some time. Ever since the Manager's Bowl, you know these two have been wanting to get back. at each other's faces. And the fact that they were given the option to not bring their factions to cheer each other on and provide distractions, I felt like this was a fantastic time to show the two how they were just knowledge-based for Inner Geekdom. And true, yes, the DC was the one in the end kind of screwed over Jay. He brought his A game to it the best that he could. One thing that I will find interesting, though, is that whenever a competitor, more often than not, when they spin again, they'll land on the same exact thing. And I'm not sure, it's like, I want to know the science behind that. Like, how hard do you have to twirl it to get to that exact spot? But that's beside the point. It's more of a fascinating thing. So be prepared, competitors. There is a large percentage chance it's going to land on the exact same thing. So do something different. That's just a side note. That's it.
It was really surprising too how many people booed Jay, because when we were there, like, Jay got a lot of claps. I didn't know that Jay was now booed a lot.
I feel like Jay is, I don't know if he's a fan favorite, but he is definitely a favorite of Reactors.
Yeah,
I mean, we all love Jay. I mean, at the Manager Bowl, I mean, there were boos in the audience for him, but all the reactors, like me and like Late to the Party and you know, all the belts, we were all cheering for him because we do like Jay. He had dinner with us the night before. He didn't have to do that. You know, he's a nice guy, and once you have dinner with someone and he shares his nachos with you, I sat next to him. He shared his nachos with me. It was very nice.
That's nice.
But, you know, I mean, once you have that connection with someone, it's hard to be like, I hate you.
100%.
He's a great competitor to react to, because he has such this larger than life persona when he's when he's on the screen, and it works perfectly.
For sure. And you know what? Maybe they were booing him because he didn't come out to his normal entrance music. Because when he comes out to that glorious and he goes, like, it's hard to not cheer for him because he just is like, good. So it's such a cool entrance. So I don't know. Maybe it's because his entrance music wasn't the same. It's conspiracy theories. Malcolm, what did you think about this one?
Well, Funny should say that it's actually shown quite a lot. You change up your entrance music. A lot of times when people have changed up the entrance music, they actually have lost. It happened with the Patriots. There's been a few other cases as well, but I mean, this was a fun match, and like talking about the deficit that Emma had, I'm pretty sure Jay was the same number of points down in this match as Emma was in the match before, and he actually came back from that deficit. So, so awesome. I mean, it shows that Jay is a good player, and like he just had bad luck in his round 2, and I mean, it was a great use of the challenge as well, because it meant Emma won twice in this match. Not that it counts.
And Nico on the reaction actually said that this is like the third time he scored 16 points or something.
I mean, I think he's scored 16 points a few times. Aww. Yeah, it's his unlucky or lucky number. He did win on 16 one time. 16 seems to be his number. So, I don't know. Every image is and the Manager Bowl, he lost on 16 as well. So, I don't know if that you should maybe try and get a different amount of points next game. I don't know. We'll see. But we do have an interview with the one and the only Mr. Glorious himself, Jay Washington. He is fantastic. We're so happy to have him on the summit, having this interview with him. And so we're going to go transition.
Thank you so much, Kristen. I am here with the one, the only Jay, the Urban Gladiator Washington, here from the Schmoedown. Jay, how you doing? And I know this match was a rough one, but how you doing today, my man?
So why would you even ask me that question if you know how I'm doing? If you know the match is rough, why would you even ask that question?
Oh, of course. This was such a. This one is a toughie. Jay, going into this match against Emma Fyffe. I know the Viper Squad have had a run-in with the Fyffe Club numerous times. What was your mindset going into this? And I hope you're doing okay. You don't seem like you're doing that well.
My mindset. So let me just you know, let me just take all the Schmoedown element out of it. Let me take all the characteristics out of it. I went into this, I wanted to beat her ass at this match. You know, Emma's talking all this. She knows the inner geekdom. She's so happy she got Rachel and Draco and Clark. And so, yo, I wanted to go in this and prove to her I could beat her at her own game. Everybody keeps talking about how she won the manager ball. You know what? The sun even shines on a dog's ass sometimes. So that don't mean it's always lucky. I watched every damn Harry Potter movie in existence. I am a grown man, and I sat up and made sure I watched all those movies. I watched The Lord of the Rings. I used my Netflix account to watch The Fellowship of the Ring. I could have did a whole bunch of other things with that. There are a lot of Netflix originals I need to catch up with, but I prepared my ass off. And then she tried to sneak one, and then next question, man.
Yeah, actually, you go into that. How do you prepare for a match? Do you go and you get videos? How do you prepare for an Inner Geekdom match? It's really
First of all, who in the hell is going to get videos? There is no Blockbuster video around. There are no Hollywood videos around. Who's going to get videos? Yo, that is what on demand is. You know this thing we're on right now called the internet? Yeah. That is how you prepare. You watch movies on the internet, okay? Some people own Blu-ray players. I don't have one, okay? I didn't want to waste my money, so I'd rather use the internet.
Awesome. Yeah, I mean, I cannot argue with that. So I'm going to do Miss Blockbuster, may that rest in peace. So what we're going to do is we're going to go right into this match, Jay. Round one wasn't your best, nor Emma's best. It was kind of 50-50 on that. And what are your opinions on how you performed in round one? I think you guys scored 5 points out of the possible 10, I think, from what I remember. Yeah, what
yeah. You look at the glass as half empty. I look at it as half full. So
yeah,
the half full glass. There was a question about what did Harry's charm turn into. I knew it was a four-legged animal that looked like a horse. She said, "Yo," I said horse. My brain, I knew close to what it was. Yeah. So
I mean, yeah, it's just what do you call it? You're being human. You go white room. Sometimes you know an answer, but sometimes you just can't pull it. And do you think the lights affect you?
No, why would lights affect me? I'm under a bunch of bright lights right now, sitting in my room, talking to you about this. Bright lights don't affect me. Have you not realized yet who I am? Do you not understand what I do outside of this Schmoedown? Do you not understand my lineage? I'm going to tell you something. Check my IMDb profile. I've always been under these lights, okay? This is nothing new to me.
Yep. So, I mean, you know, it is what it is. But going into round two, this is where things get really, really interesting. I assume that DC...
The wheel has magnets on it. The wheel has magnets, and then there's a stop control that Christian has that he made it stop exactly for Emma Fyffe the way he wanted it to. And so when it went to Spinner's Choice, of course, we knew what she was going to pick. So when I spun, it went to DC movies, which I did not want. I spun again, and always just so happened to reluctantly go back to DC movies. So what else do you think?
Do you think you're stronger in DCEU movies and actual DC movies themselves because of how broad it is? Going in, do you think that? How do you think you performed? Do you think it was when you spun DC movies? What was your mindset? Did you think you were already sunk, or did you think you had a shot?
I thought I had a shot. I thought there was a chance. But at the same time, I'm like, okay, here comes a bunch of movies that I have to remember. I have to remember Watchmen. I have to remember all of the Supermans. I have to remember all of the Batman variations of films. And then a damn Jonah Hex question, bro. Who in the hell has actually watched, let alone remember Jonah Hex? Josh Brolin starred in Jonah Hex and don't even want to remember Jonah Hex. So what does that let you know?
Even Kristen said it was an abomination when he asked the question. So at least you didn't get Marvel movies, because you could have gotten something like Men in Black, which is actually a Marvel movie, or something even more obscure. So,
but I know Men in Black, except for Men in Black 3. I refuse to watch Men in Black 3. Granted, Josh Brolin was in that one, but we don't ever talk about 3.
Touche. But I guess you've already said it. But when Emma spun Spinner's Choice, what was going through your mind, and do you think that do you think that was fucked up?
Let me ask you this question. When Emma spun Spinner's Choice, what was going through your mind?
Rest in peace, Jay Washington. Yeah, because she got Harry Potter, and I felt like after that, you just saw it on your face. You looked so defeated. And I'm assuming that that's how you felt. You're doing the face you're doing right now.
Yeah. Because, you know, in round 2, you have a chance to steal, but I can't have a chance to steal a question from a woman who does nothing but live her life by those movies.
Yeah.
Emma's relationship will come from a Hogwarts train. Do you get what I'm saying? Emma's children, when she has them, are going to be named Dumbledore, some shit like that. They will be named, one will have the nickname the Minister of Magic. Do you get what I'm saying? So how else am I supposed to feel? What did you think I was going to feel? Oh my God, she got Harry Potter. There's a shot that I might have a chance.
Nope, Sai. You got that. That was essentially the nail in the coffin, so to speak. And it was tough to watch because you are a very good player, Jay. Every time you've played, even in the manageable, I think even for the manageable, you could even say that your performance was really stellar. Going into round 3, you actually did something that not many people do. They used their challenge freaking correctly, without any sort of possibility of it being controversial with the whole Smeagol thing. What was your mind? I mean, that was something to do right off the cuff. I'm surprised you actually pulled that off. How did you come across with the whole Smeagol thing and that challenge, and do you think you're proud of it?
First and foremost, hell yeah, I'm proud of it. You know why? Because no one would expect me to know anything about Lord of the Rings. So again,
I didn't know. I didn't think you would. Yeah.
Again, watching the films, doing research, thank you, Wikipedia, I knew exactly what it was. So you damn right, I'm going to go ahead and challenge it. And I'm going to let her gloat. And I'm going to be honest with you. You know why I waited? Because I wanted to let Christian Harloff gloat at the desk for a second.
Ooh.
I wanted to let him say, "And your winner, the Golden Mike." And as soon as he said, "No," I want to challenge that.
It's good
because it's not right.
Yeah, and you know what? The way they edited it was really hilarious too. Like they stopped the music and everything. I think there was a record scratch or something. It was great. But you ended up losing. But it wasn't a demolition. You actually did put up a fight, Jay.
Yeah.
But going after you got defeated, what do you think your future is going to be in Intergeekdom? Who do you think you're going to verse? I know the Viper Squad still has a lot. Janine, for example, had her victory. So are you still a little optimistic? What are your thoughts on your future?
Why would I be a little optimistic? I'm a lot optimistic. I'm an abundance of optimism. Why would I be just a little bit? Here's the thing. I even said it in the interview. Whether I win or lose, it doesn't matter. Everybody thinks I focus all this on me. This is all about Jay Washington. It's got to be about him. This is about Markia, about Stacy, about Janine. I don't have to have it be about me. You know why? Because my life, my career, my spotlight are great. And I will use that spotlight and share it with those who deserve it. Not needed, deserve it. And they deserve it. Now, if you ask how do I feel about going further in Geekdom, well, Hector Navarro kept running from me. Jason Inman got lucky. Mark Donica got handed him a situation. Jared Highbond came into this. Mike Kalinowski don't know what the hell he wants to do. Rachel Cushion is on trivia steroids. How do you think I'm feeling? I'm still in this matches. Everybody wants to have different type of challenges. I said it in my post interview and I will say it again. 4 categories, plain and simple. MCU, DC, EU, Harry Potter, Lord of the Rings. We don't need a wheel. Just those 4.
So you would want kind of like an Iron Man match with just those 4 categories?
Just the Yep. No, let's not even call it an Iron Man match. Let's not call it an Iron Person match. Let's call it an Iron Nerd match.
An Iron Nerd match would actually be amazing.
It tickled you? That tickled you saying that? It tickled you. An Iron Nerd match, myself and Emma Fife. Now, when you hear this, internet, because I know you like to comment on stuff in YouTube videos. I know you like to make sure you have an opinion in Facebook groups. When you hear this, repeat it just the way I said it. Iron Nerd match with me and Emma Fife. And since you want to run your mouth, go and pitch your little fits to the commissioner in his horrible shirts. Make sure you let the announcer Christian Harloff know this needs to happen. You all gloat and beg and plead for every other match that comes up. Well, I'm throwing one in your face. Now they should make that happen.
Wow, that is huge news, and I cannot wait to see the reaction of everybody involved thinking about an Iron Nerd match is ingenious. Now, Jay, this was a loss, but you know what? The Viper Squad is still going strong. Do you see anybody else coming into the Viper Squad that you would like to see in this in the actual faction itself?
I always do. I always have people I look at, I recruit. I think I have tapes on. I do study history. I write my notes down. I have a whole lot of thumbtacks in my wall with a whole lot of post-it notes that don't have sticky anymore because I'm like, oh, this person has potential, this person doesn't. You don't know. You might. You don't know how much I've been talking to Rachel Cushing. She enjoys the Shire Wolves. She's friends with the Fife Club, but you don't know. I mean, you see them on Twitter having fun together, but no one knows about the conversations that go on here. No one knows about so what are you thinking? And the advice I've given her. And she always comes to me because why? Jay knows how to deal with the likes. Jay knows how to deal with the internet. Jay knows how to deal with the crowd. Jay knows how the game works. The trivia is one thing. The game is another. So you don't know how much Rachel and I talk. Again, people forget about that. People don't know that there are other people sitting around who I may have a relationship with. I'm like, yo, what are you thinking about this? And then everybody automatically thinks the Viper Squad just has to be all amazing women. There's a couple of guys I've been talking to, and they've really been interested. Matter of fact, a couple of guys who have approached me. So,
that's
and by the way, it's huge because here's the thing: it's not your run-of-the-mill brand new players. I've had a couple former champions come talk to me.
That's insane.
And I will even go so far as say, when I say champions, I don't mean just tag team champions. I don't mean just Inner Geekdom champion. I mean movie trivia Schmoedown champions.
Holy shit.
So,
that is huge. This faction could end up being the biggest monopoly in Schmoedown soon.
It could, because there's a lot of things on deck, a lot of things people don't know. And guess what? You got to play the game.
You have to. It's a secret, and the surprises will come as they come. So thank you so much, Jay. What are your thoughts on? Let's just go into what your thoughts on the future Viper Squad matches. Let's go first with this Rachel Cushing match that was announced in your post-match interview. What are your thoughts on that? And does she have a shot? And are you excited for her?
I think first and foremost, am I allowed to speak freely and say how I really feel?
Go for it.
I think it's bullshit. I believe in Marquia. I know what Marquia can do. But you want to throw her to the proverbial Shire Wolves and go ahead and give her Rachel Cushing out the gate? Now, we've seen Rachel Cushing crack under pressure. It can happen. It has happened. It probably will happen again very soon, like as soon as Marquia. But why would Thad, Kristen, whoever's responsible say, we're going to allow that match to happen? So what? Marquia wants to challenge Rachel. So what? If you have common sense and common decency as a commissioner of a league, if you don't want to be held in the throes of an old David Stern or Roger Goodell, you want to be held with some type of reverence as a commissioner of a respectable league such as the Schmoedown, why would you allow that match to be sanctioned?
Marquee value, like maybe I don't know.
No, I value Marquia.
I mean marquee value, like
marquee value. What type of no, because the value is the internet once again. Hi, commenters. I know you're about ready to type and put a thumbs down because I'm calling you out. Those are like, Rachel's gonna do your crushing. She's gonna show when she's the best person in the Schmoedown, and I've never left my mommy's basement. That's how I feel about it.
Well, you know what? It's something like to be fair, Rachel hasn't been in Inner Geekdom that much. She might be a little rusty, so you could take advantage of that possibly. But going into the other one is the Machine versus the Android, Janine and Andreyko. What are your thoughts on that match? And are you concerned for Janine with Mark?
You know what? A lot of your questions, I need you to learn how to be an interviewer first and foremost.
Oh, God.
Non-biased. Because when you ask questions, everything you seem to ask me has a skew of, well, they should lose. They're going to lose. Everything is just negative towards the Viper Squad. Everything you said out of your mouth from the moment we started this has been negative. Why do I have to be concerned for Janine? How come you aren't concerned for Andreyko? Okay. Why is it never that out of your mouth? I get this. I get the skew in this whole league now. I'm seeing it. Yep. I'm seeing this slight towards the Viper Squad, and I'm really not liking it.
Ooh, okay. Let me rephrase that then. What do you are you excited for Janine to annihilate Mark and Andreyko? You
could have just said, am I excited for the match for Janine versus Andreyko? That would have been the best way to ask that question. As someone who's in the industry of interviewing entertainers, directors, and different aspects, there's a way you ask the question is, hey, Jay, are you excited for the match for Janine versus Mark Andreyko? Mm-hmm. Not, what are your thoughts on it? Do you feel Janine's going to win? Do you feel Andreyko's going to win? How do I feel? I'm confident in Janine. Janine's confident in Janine. That's what matters the most. Guess what? Even if it's just me with Janine, Janine still has it. Andreyko needs to have the whole Fife squad now, Fife Club, All Right Club, whatever you want to call it, with him. So I have no concern and no worry for Janine at all in this.
Oh, cool. Awesome. So thank you so much, Jay. This was an amazing discussion. A lot of things have come up in this discussion that are going to be huge things moving forward. So, Jay, where can the good people find you online, my man?
As always, you can find me on Instagram and Twitter at Mr. J Washington. That's MrJaywashington. Check out the Trusty Sidekick podcast for myself and Bobby Hill, getting you caught up on everything in the Marvel and DC live action cinematic universes. And check out my YouTube channel, J Washington 80. That is JAY Washington 80.
Cool. Thank you so much, Jay. Back to you, Kristen.
All right, Chris, thank you for that interview. We also really appreciate your time, Jay. We always like having guests from the Schmoedown on the summit. We are going to talk about one of the things that came up during the match. Now, this was Mark's shirt. I just thought we would have a larger discussion about.
Oh, right? Sure. It was beautiful. It was fachet. It was eclectic. It was so veneer, and I felt like it was so touche and anthrotic. Yeah.
You're just saying words. You're just saying words.
I think Chris has just said every word that needs to be said regarding the shirt. We don't need to add anything else.
I don't think that any of those describe shirts in any way.
I don't know.
Sure, because touche certainly does not. Touche.
No.
So, no, we're going to talk about the challenge. And anytime there's a big challenge in a match, I think we're going to discuss it. This one did actually happen to be on Emma's first winning point. And it was, they asked the question of who found the ring after it left a seal door. And the correct answer was Deagle, because he found the freaking ring in the bottom of the lake. And she answered Deagle, which, no, what did I say that backwards?
Smeagol.
The answer is Deagle, and she answered Smeagol. It's okay, guys. There's things going on with my hormones that don't make any sense to anyone right now. So yeah, she had the answer wrong, is what we're saying. But the issue is that she said Smeagol, and then she waited many seconds, and then she said, well, Smeagol found it, but also Deagle found it, and so there's a little bit of well, is that the right answer, because technically they were both there and blah blah. So Jay did challenge it, which I thought was one of the best uses of a challenge that we've had so far in this season of the Schmoedown. We're going to get everyone's opinion about this challenge, and we're going to start it out with Chris. What you think about this challenge in particular?
Oh, this challenge was super smart, super slick in the head. I felt like if you go into some sort of thing where you look, this challenge in among itself was actually well progressed. From Jay's point of view, he used this to a 10th degree with no possibility of it being any sort of controversy. And I feel like this challenge was rightfully said. He succeeded, and there's nothing more to it than just that Jay killed that challenge. And it was funny how the edit was that she won, the music then suddenly stopped, and then she won again. That was funny. But the fact of the matter is that Jay used his challenge wisely, and he should be commended for that because you don't see it that often, sadly.
All right, so we're going to shoot it over to Malcolm to let us know what he thought about this, because Abe can't tell me what to do.
Burn!
Yeah, I mean, it was definitely a perfect challenge opportunity from Jay, because like when Emma said Smeagol, I actually initially I thought it was like, well, I mean they were both there. I'm pretty sure I thought they found it together, so I thought they would have been accepted. But it's like, but then Jay challenged it and got the points taken away, but Emma got back and won a second time. So I mean, it was good. Wasn't much to add.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's fair. Manning, did you have anything else you wanted to add about this challenge?
At this point, it was just going to be echoing what you guys said. This was an excellent use of the challenge. I agree with the ruling. There isn't any controversy here as much as some other challenges that have been in the past, be it this season or seasons past. And it was handled very well. And can I just mention, just a side note, anytime Ellis and Harloff are on, I love it. This just kind of reminded me, I love them, because you know what? I now have a doe, a deer, a female deer stuck in my head. So thanks, Ellis.
Thanks, Ellis. We thank you for a lot of things,
Love
Ellis. One day you'll be on the summit. Probably not.
It was technically on the summit. Technically. I forget, but yeah.
All right. And yeah, I don't have much to add about this. I think that people who maybe think that she should have got the answer listed as correct. I mean, there were a large amount of seconds in between her first answer and her second answer. They would have counted it down at that point. She would have run out of time at that point. So that's why my opinion is that wasn't her final answer. And this is something that she's done in the past, where she's given one answer and then given another answer. So this is always kind of a controversial thing. Like, she said monkey, and then she said baboon, and then she said Japanese monkey. And so, you know, she's done it before. I thought that she had the answer right in that one. I just want to say right now, it's a monkey. It's a fucking Japanese monkey. All right. So
monkey.
Jesus. All right. So we are going to move off of the challenge, and we're going to talk about the cutscenes. So we're going to talk about we're doing them in the opposite order because I don't care today. So we're going to talk about Mike and Roka, the cutscene between Mike and Roka. You're welcome, Abe. So we're going to talk about the cutscene between Mike and Roka first. So this obviously was a pretty quick cutscene. It was a little bit of a wink wink, but there's been some stuff going on Twitter as well that have kind of been a little wink wink. So we're going to talk about that. So Malcolm, what did you think about this Mike Roka cutscene going on here?
Yeah, this was a fun cutscene, and I think they just sort of did it because, I mean, obviously the speculation of Mike joining the Horsemen has been going on since even before he even turned heel. But and I think this was a case of, like, they saw the reaction to when Mike posted the Four Horsemen picture on Twitter. It's like, let's mess with the fans a little bit before we officially just show where Mike's going to end up with the thing. So I don't know if anything's going to come from it, because I don't know if a full heel Mike can fit in the Horsemen with Roka and Nose, who are kind of in between heel and face. I don't think they've kind of aligned any on either side of that coin yet. So I think that sometimes it all depends on who they're playing. But I mean, whether or not something happens to it, I don't know, but yeah.
Yeah, I would tend to agree with you. I don't know that this is actually something that's going to take place. I think that it's maybe a smoke screen for something else happening, or it's a Last Jedi moment where they're like all those people out there who dig over every single thing in the Schmoedown and look for all the connections and try and piece everything together. Wow. We're just gonna say, throw the lightsaber over our shoulder and move on to something that was completely obvious.
It's not going to go the way you'd think.
Yes, it's not going to go the way we think. So we'll see. Maybe they're just being tricksy with us. Chris, what do you think about this one?
What were you saying? Oh yeah. Sorry, I was watching this video about a 100 layered lasagna. Sorry. Oh, that's so terrible. Wait, wait, okay.
Oh, I'm hungry. I want dinner.
Okay.
Did it look good?
I'll send you guys a link in a second. But look,
let's give a secret link below, and we can just get people to click on the video.
What happened?
Can you just put in the corner like a video of 100-layer lasagna?
I didn't see.
This is what I was looking at. It was fascinating. But anyway, sorry. This is. I don't know why I said that out loud. But look, guys. There's nothing really to discuss with this scene except for the fact that it's hinting at Mike Kalinowski. He's literally gonna be in the Horsemen. It's kind of a given. And you know my thoughts. The Horsemen were perfect the way they were. Losing the two greatest competitors ever was not something I was happy with, and it made me really awkward inside. So whatever John wants to do, his face was determined, and he's planning something. So if that was not obvious, nothing is, and we'll see how this goes. And it's probably going to be something at the live event. I can bet it's building up to something. I think it's going to happen. The 5 Horsemen, I think, is going to be the thing that's going to be reigning supreme. Yep.
Yeah, I think that you could be correct. The correctness of a 100-layer lasagna. Manning, what do you think about this cutscene between Rook and Mike?
This is one of my favorite cutscenes. You know why? There isn't a lot of dialogue. And usually there's just these expositions going along in these cutscenes. This one was just kind of like these two people who may or may not be full heel. Roka may be going with that one. Kalinowski may be going completely heel. We don't know fully yet. They're not super nice guys all the time. They come in, they look at each other, they stare each other down. They look intently. They don't say words outside of yep, and a couple of exchanges of dialogue. And through that, we have this like mutual respect almost, or this almost tease. Is this going to be that we're building up to something that may or may not happen, and it kind of sets up a relationship or an interaction between these two in the future. And even if Kalinowski doesn't join the Horsemen, this also sets up the possibility of a storyline of us going to where Roka and Kalinowski could face each other in the future, or the two of them could be seen as allies. But it's a nice seed that they've planted for the future, and it's a nice change of pace when usually you go back to where you had the Lion's Den and the 4 Horsemen that's yelling completely in a small room, to this where it was a lot quiet moment. I liked the little direction. It was a nice little touch.
Yeah, I'm entirely focused on lasagna right now, so.
Cool. I'm gonna look at this lasagna now.
Okay, sorry. It does look really. Guys, don't talk about food to a pregnant person. It's just general number 1 rule. Chris. All right. Sorry, I did hear what you said. I agree with you.
Okay.
All right, so Manning, I totally agree with you. I think that you broke that down really well. I like your take on that too. It's interesting. Good to have you back. He gives us all
it was a great take.
Intellectual breakdowns of scenes and stuff.
I'm gonna say great take 3. Oh, bad joke.
Well, we'll see you in a couple months.
That was bad.
But yeah, I mean, I did enjoy this as well. I just like some of the Roka does these cutscenes pretty well, where he just kind of like walks in and he just folds his arms and does the Roka like stare down, and you know, I think he does those well. And I was just kind of like, sup, man. And I just like how they did it. It was interesting, and it makes me want to speculate, but I also don't want to speculate at all, because they're just gonna throw all our speculation out the window and do something whatever they want with it. So there is that. So then the first cutscene, because we're doing these backwards, was between Mike and Thad, not Mark Ellis Thad, regular Thad. So this was actually announcing that the Inner Geekdom Road to the Belt is actually going to be its own tournament now, with 16 different competitors, and it's going to be this big hullabaloo. And Mike handed Thad some mysterious paper. What was on that, I don't know, but we could talk about that if you would like. But we're going to talk about the cutscene, then we're going to talk about who we think is joining this Inner Geekdom tournament. So first, we'll talk about the cutscene itself. Manning, would you like to break down the cutscene for us?
I could break down this cutscene. Yes, shot by shot, frame by frame. I got my degree, guys. This totally makes me an expert in this field. No, not at all. Not at all. But for this scene in particular, what I find interesting was that Kalinowski is not your traditional heel in the way that Team Action is, in the way that the Lions are. He's not this loud-mouthed talking person who just goes and starts throwing out insults at everyone. No, he has this calculating feel, because he was the killer before he became KO. So the way he came into this I found fascinating, because he came in confident, which that smile. For those of you who saw the going around the Onion article, great smile, guys. For anyone who saw it from the Movie Trivia Schmoedown Facebook page,
yeah,
there you
that
go.
was fantastic.
Winning smile.
Oh,
winning smile.
Oh yeah.
Yes, winning smile. But he had a plan, and for some reason, that piece of paper has something Thad is afraid of, or something that changed Thad's opinion. And are we going to find out as Christian began to tease at the very end of the match? We may never know. But it's really fascinating to see Kalinowski go down this different heel path. One that's not full evil, more calculating and diabolical. Maybe not.
Thank you for that really in-depth analysis of the. We're just going to have him on to do all the cutscene analysis.
The cutscenes.
Cutscene analysis corner with Manning Franks.
This has been your cutscene analysis.
Perfect. All right. Well, now that we've had our cutscene analysis, Chris, why don't you give us your thoughts about the cutscene as well?
Which one was this? This is with Kalinowski versus.
Yeah.
What, I forget what this
Kalinowski versus Lasagna. Yeah.
No. I was actually writing in a point email. What is this again? I forget what this cutscene is.
Kalinowski
and Thad.
Yeah. Oh, this is the Kalinowski and Thad thing when it comes into the office. Okay, in 3, 2, 1. Look, this is great, because this is where you get to see with Thad Williams how much of a pushover this little weasel is. It's really, really funny. And look. I don't see how intimidating Mike Kalinowski is. I don't see how he's that intimidating. But you know what? Thad, you want to be scared of Mike Kalinowski, go for it. He's a great guy, but I don't know if he's that intimidating. You could have pumped your brakes and be like, ain't no, sister, I ain't doing that. No, not shit. No. But he did, and he decided to do it, and it was funny. But you know what? This entire Inner Geekdom Championship tournament thing that they want to do is insane, because last season we only got 10 Inner Geekdom matches. We're gonna get like double that halfway into the season, and that's super awesome to see this competition grow. And I'm not gonna tell you who I think is gonna win that tournament, because it's obvious, but you know what, this tournament I cannot wait to see, because they've only have 8 matches I think confirmed or something like that, and it's a 16 seed kind of thing. So anybody could be in Inner Geekdom. We could see Roka, we could see Bibbs, we could see anybody from the singles competition make it into Inner Geekdom to see what sticks, and it could be really, really fun.
Yeah, and if we wanted to be huge conspiracy theorists, we would talk that these two scenes are connected, and that Roka's finally going to make his way into the Inner Geekdom. He has been studying, I guess, some Lord of the Rings. He did watch it the other day. a couple weeks ago, and he made sure to tag me about how bored he was. So thank you, John. And so, I mean, that would be cool, but we'll talk about that later. Malcolm, why don't you let us know what your thoughts are on this one?
How can you be bored watching Lord of the Rings? Anyway, yeah, no, this was a fun cutscene. I mean, I don't know what it was that was on that. That was on that letter that Mike gave Fad. I mean, it could be something that a blackmail thing that Mike might have on Fad or something. But the angle that they shot Mike and really showed that he had the power in this cutscene was like as you see in movies when you showing something that someone's got the power, you shoot them from a lower angle and show them taller than what they normally are. So I mean, that was cool.
Definitely. And we're going to get into the actual meat of this discussion now. The meat of the lasagna, as it were. So this is the Inner Geekdom tournament. So we're going to talk, speculate on who's going to be in this tournament. So we know a number of people already. We've already had matches between Adam and Hector. We've also had the match between Emma and Jay. The match is coming up between you got Rachel and Markia, I guess, is going to be a match coming up soon. You also have Mike and Jared Habon. You have Robert Meyer Burnett versus Donica. So you've got, 10 people already. And so there's just 6 mystical, magical people somewhere out there in the universe. And like Thanos, we have to go and collect them. So we're going to figure out what. That was my transition. It was a perfect transition.
It was good. It was good.
It was a perfect comment.
I want to give you that was an ovation.
Okay.
It wasn't a history one, but that's okay.
Oh, fine. Like Lewis and Clark, we're going to go discover all the competitors that could be in this tournament. So we're going to go across the board. Just name a couple people you think are going to be in it. Maybe give us one like wild guess. Like you probably won't happen, but it would be cool if it did. So we're going to start with Malcolm. Who do you think are kind of the surefires, and who's your weird kind of out there one?
Yeah, so I mean, this is really hard to pick, but I mean, I'm thinking that we might see a lot of the people that were in the 5-ways at the start of the year probably making it a true appearance. Like we might see Taylor again, and I mean, as an out there one, I think Ben knows a bit about Inner Geekdom, so he could be an out there competitor to come in.
Yeah, I think Ben does know. I don't know how much he knows about the rest of I know he knows comic books. The comic book movies. I don't know how much he knows some of these other categories, but obviously he could know them pretty well. So that is an interesting thought. Chris, do you have any ideas of who else?
I have a couple. I said Bibbs and Roka just because they've mentioned it before. They want to get that would be the moment for Roka to put his foot in that pool. It would be, but I'm actually going to say Joelle. Joelle would be a good fit for that league because she's a geek. She knows her stuff. Yolanda seems like she's a geek too. And there's a lot of other people like Ethan Irwin is an obvious choice, but I don't know. Ethan could. I don't know Irwin's stance on geek, but I would say more than likely the one person I would say that I would like to see there, it would be a good dynamic for Emma would be Joelle.
Interesting to have Joelle in the tournament as well, because that obviously is Emma's previous partner. Yeah, that's interesting. I didn't think about her, but she would be a great addition. I would love to see Joelle back in action. Last but not least, Manning, kind of who are your ideas for who could be the last 6 people in this Inner Geekdom tournament?
Yeah, other than the ones you specified, which we were more than likely, most of them, if not all of them, will be the ones who were chosen. Yeah, Roka and Bibbs, I know, have also talked about that, and I would not be surprised to see them, because Roka's like, all the belts, all the records, and if he wants all the belts, he has to go to the Inner Geekdom as well, too. But I would also not be surprised if we also got some people who may have participated in the Star Wars matches. Like, if you got a Joseph Scrimshaw or who I know is big on Star Wars and Star Trek. But the problem is, how much comic book knowledge do these other people have? That's the big thing. There's always seemed to be a disconnect between like those who read comics and then maybe those who like watch Star Wars or Middle Earth or whichever. So I'm not exactly sure how that could happen, but it's interesting to see where we go because these are 6 players. I think we might get some more unknowns, people who are bringing into the space for the first time, people we may not be aware of, or people that are in the space of YouTube film criticism. And then I would not be surprised if that would happen. I'd be really happy though, because you know what, fresh blood is always great in the Schmoedown.
Definitely. I would love to see them break out some new people into the Inner Geekdom. I just don't know that the tournament for the belt is the place to do it, just because they like to introduce the new people in the 5 ways. But you never know. They could have some wild cards that could really just take this whole thing by storm, you know, in their sleeves. It would be interesting to see who they would pick for that, just because really you have no idea. Like, Sam Witwer knows quite a lot about Star Wars. He also knows quite a lot about Star Trek. And I think that I don't know his comic book knowledge. I would assume he has some sort of comic book knowledge. But, you know, it would be interesting to see him in there. He's a busy guy now, so I don't know who that's a possibility, but it would be cool. And, you know, people that we've seen in the past that could hopefully come back. Ashley Robinson would be cool, but I don't think that's going to happen. I think that she had a really bad experience with the fans of the Schmoedown. Not all of them, but a couple choice buttholes out there who were buttholes and should go burn in a fire. Not really, that's mean. But, you know, they should not be buttholes is what I'm trying to say. I don't think she's going to come back to the Schmoedown as a competitor, but I could be wrong. We also have like Koi, who's always kind of a staple of these Inner Geekdom matches. He needs to get more Marvel questions in his matches because he's okay at some of the other categories, but he needs to get more Marvel. Dorian Parks also would be great. Alana Jordan would also be great. One person we have not discussed who I think would take this thing by storm if he showed up and people would lose their freaking minds is the return of one Jeremy Johns back to people would lose their freaking minds if he showed up and they didn't announce that he was coming back and he just showed up and he was like, I'm here to compete. And then that would be freaking amazing. I don't know if that's going to happen just because he doesn't live in LA anymore. I don't know how often he gets into that area. Or if he would come back, but people would go crazy if he came back. So that's my thoughts. I mean, I think the safest choice is throwing Koi, and Dorian works there now.
Or Mark Bernardin. Mark Bernardin would also be cool.
Yeah, I forgot
Mark
about
Bernardin.
I think he would be great. Yeah,
Batman on Batman. Yeah.
There you go. So I think that's, I mean, good choices all around. So those are our picks for who we think is going to be in the Inner Geekdom tournament in those mystery 6 spots. I'm sure that's going to be announced soon, unless he has a couple tricks up his sleeve. That tricky Harloff guy. So we're going to move on to our next week predictions. Before we do that, we might have a fantasy thing. Matt, do we have a fantasy thing?
Hey guys, it's Mini here with the fantasy update. So first place we got Super Epic X Team with 383 points, and so moving up in the world. Second place Emo Engine Schmo Boys with 338 points, and third place Team Kwagi with 329 points. In fourth place the Penguins with 243 points. In fifth place, 90 Kids with 219 points. In sixth place, That Movie Geek with 162 points. And in seventh place, That Yodi Alliance with 148 points. It's kind of just a battle between Super Epic X Team, Small Boys, and Kwaggies at this point. No one's making trades, of course. Probably no one's gonna be making trades for a while because, you know, they got good teams. So, that's it for your fantasy update. Follow me, Vinny, at VinnyStorm76 on Twitter. Get out of here.
Thanks for potentially having a fantasy update. Also, we also have a second interview for the summit, and this kind of goes into our next part of the discussion, which is our predictions for the next week of the Schmoedown. As you know, currently filming while we're also filming, is the live event of the Schmoedown. So this features team action, and we have an interview with the one and the only Ben Bateman. No, just joking. Andrew Ghai, because Ben was too busy for us.
All right. Thank you, Kristen, or whoever is the biased host who's probably saying Charles are going to win this week. I'm here with you guys. You know what? The man who needs no introduction, but because Take 3 tells me I need to do introductions. Let's see. Who is he? The real star of Free For All 2. The guy who killed Dan Merle. Okay, by the way, he hid the body. That's why we haven't seen it. Member of the true goats of the Schmoedown team action. It's Andrew freaking Ghai. How you doing, man?
Up, man. I'm good. I'm amped. I'm excited. I don't know when this video's coming, but right now it's Friday, June 1st. So that means tomorrow is one of the biggest days of my life.
Yes, it is a huge day for Action Army. You guys are taking on the Shirewolves. That's why we're talking, man. So, I gotta ask. You guys haven't been around since December because of Tad and stupid contracts, all because you rightfully so tackled your father who was just gone for your entire life and, thought that was okay. So, but you guys came back and you destroyed DC Movie News and that wannabe heel Mike Kalinowski. Now, I think that shut up all the doubters. Do you agree with me?
I'd like to agree with you, but I know that there's always going to be haters and doubters out there for the Action Army. No matter what happens, no matter how well I play or how poorly I play, they're always going to say the same things. Team multiple choice, Ben's carrying me. You guys just wear suits. You don't know movie trivia. We don't care. We're 6-3 now, and we've sold out the live event. You know who didn't sell out the live event? Roka, JTE. You know who did sell out the live event? Team Action did. So I'm feeling pretty good about us.
Yeah, you know what? Here's the thing. People in the 90s were hating on MJ. People always hate on Muhammad Ali. People hate winners.
LeBron, look at him. He's getting the most hate in the world right now. GOAT title. You know what? Team Action's the GOAT.
They really are the GOAT. So, what are you, besides winning, which of course you're going to do, what are you expecting from the live event?
For me, I'm expecting just to have, the time of my life. I'm so excited to go there. The one, there's going to be about 100+ more people at this one than the first, and the first one felt like a madhouse. It was insane. So for me, I love performing, man. I love being in front of a crowd. I love the booze. I love it all. So I'm looking to have the greatest time and to beat the Shirewolves on a very, very public live stage.
Yeah, so you guys, Team Action, you guys are one of the best at, getting into the heads of your opponent and kind of messing with them. You guys are really theatric, and you love playing to the crowd at Collider. Now, with the crowd on a, 2,000 times scale, do you think that's going to be an advantage to you in this match?
Yeah, I 100% do, because I know that Ben and I are people that thrive with that, whereas the other competitors, Rachel and Clark, I don't want to speak on them personally because I don't know how they're exactly feeling, but I do feel that it is the live audience plays to Ben and I more than the Shirewolves because it's what we do. It's like you saw us at the the Spectacular with Eisman there, and that first match against Top 10 was probably the biggest match we'd ever played in with the most hype around it, and we did damn well. So I think for us, I'm expecting it to get in the Shirewolves' heads a little bit. I'm not banking on it. It's just kind of what I'm thinking is going to happen. It might not, but that's mentality going into it.
Yeah, so if you guys win this match because you beat DC Movie News, you guys, I believe it's either a #1 contenders match or a title match.
It's a title shot.
It's a title shot. That's what I thought it was. I just wasn't quite sure. It's a title shot. You guys would either be taken on above the line or the Patriots. How excited are you guys to be this close to the freaking belt? Because where is it? It's
Where is
always
it?
with action.
Dude, it's gonna be with us so soon. I can't wait till we can say, "Here's the belt, here's the belt," and just point to our shoulders. You know what? Above the Line, Patriots are two incredible teams, and as you saw in that championship match between the two of them, it was so close. The first one, we had the first round of my life, and we only lost by 1 point in the third or in the last round. Now they still have which they hit, so who knows? Maybe they wouldn't. Remember the Titans? Who knows? But for me, I'm excited. No matter who it's going to play, who we're going to play, it's going to be against incredible competitors in either Above the Line or the Patriots. But honestly, I would much rather Patriots get the belt back, us take it from them, and then we can do Above the Line 2 when we're champs. That's what I want.
Ooh, that's nice. I like that. So we saw at the end of Ben Basin's match with Mark and Draco, you had some lovely words for one of your competitors tomorrow. Do you have anything specific you want to, because apparently she dropped something on Instagram the following day, just out of coincidence. Anything you want to say to Miss Clarkwolf?
No, we'll just leave it for the live event. We got to keep you guys on your toes.
And any words for any of the doubters and the Shirewolf fans before tomorrow?
I mean, you guys have been wrong so many times about us, and you're going to keep being wrong about action until you hop on board. There's people that I can respect that are like, I don't like action. I'm not a fan of them. But you got to give them credit. And you're goddamn right you got to give us credit. We've been around, we're the third best team in the league, okay, stats-wise. And we're also the most overlooked team, the most underestimated team out there. Everyone thinks we're just lucky, and we only have one category, which is funny because, like, we have so many categories, and team action and action event is not our category. It's not going to be on the wheel. Actually, I don't know if it's going to be on the wheel tomorrow or not, but it wasn't on the wheel during our DC Movie News match, and we were very happy about that. Although we did answer the action event questions right.
That you did. Listen, yeah, you guys, they don't have to be your favorite team. No one's saying they have to be your favorite team, but respect should be given to the greats. And
I don't
team action is
respect
one of the greats.
anyone in the league. You know that. And that's one thing that I'm always going to have, other than Ben. Ben's the only person I respect in the league. So I understand the disrespect, but, like, for team action, guys, where's the belt?
Where's the freaking belt? It's going to, after tomorrow, when they slaughter the Shirewolves, it's going to be over their shoulders because they're going to take down Above the Line or Patriots or whoever. Who cares who the champions are?
Doesn't
because
matter,
the true
man.
ones
That's
are
right.
team action.
I can't believe we're this close to the belt again. It was this close to us, and it was taken away, and now we're back there, right back where we were.
And you know what the thing is? I bet you Tad and all his contracts is probably trying to figure out a way to screw you guys out of the belt because you're this close. But you know what? It's not going to work this time, Tad, okay? Because there's going to be a whole live audience to your BS this time.
Yeah, no, Tad is going to have no power in El Portal tomorrow. If he tries to say one fucking, he attacks him. Physically attacks him. Just like I did to John.
Trust me, if I was there, Tad, you should be nervous. I would have rolled up I would have been Goose to their Maverick, Iceman. I would have just been there. I would have just been silent, too. I wouldn't have said anything.
I miss you, man. I really wish you were going to be there.
I know. I was there to support you at Free For All, but, here's the thing. When you're spending so much money on action movie and anime stuff, you can't always fly out there, sadly.
Hey, I respect that. I do have a question for you, though. Can I ask a question?
Sure.
Okay. So I know that you were a fan of Mike Kalinowski. What happened? How do you feel?
What do you mean? How do I feel about that wannabe heel? I'm so happy that my favorite team destroyed him.
There he is. There's my boy. So Kalinowski's dead to you now, right?
Yeah, okay. Let's see this. He's as dead as John Travolta was at the end of The Taking of Pelham 1, 2, 3.
I like it. I like it.
That's a deep cut for any of you old school AMA fans.
That's right. Love The Taking of Pelham 1, 2, 3. Grab a half gallon. I can grab a half gallon. Need a whole gallon.
All right. So thank you, Andrew, as always, for coming on. Is there anything you want to plug before you leave?
No, man. Thanks for having me on, Kearns. Where's the belt? And tomorrow at the El Portal Theater, you are going to see greatness go down. And actually, there is one thing I want to plug. There is something so big that's going to happen tomorrow that there is going to be an NDA for the fans there. So if you guys don't know what NDA means, it's an agreement. Now, we're not going to sign contract, But something so big is going down tomorrow, they're not going to be able to think about it for a week it goes up. Or else they'll be kicked, blocked from the end. That big.
Yeah, it's huge, guys. You know, do yourself the favors, and for the fans who aren't able to be there, just keep it secret for all of us so we can all celebrate. It's only a week. You only got to... Actually, it's less than a week because this match drops on Friday. So
Yeah.
it's less than a week you got to wait. Okay, you talk amongst yourselves. But then, when it does drop, we'll all go crazy together. So,
yeah, I mean, we already know that we're going to win the main event. It's really what's really here is about the Star Wars three-way. So that we won't spoil, but we are going to beat the Shire Wolves. I'm sorry to say it.
Yeah, sorry guys. Sorry. It's a pre-spoiler. It's kind of like Han dying in The Force Awakens. We all knew it was going to happen. We
all knew it was going to happen. We couldn't stop it.
No. And that's all you Shire Wolf fans, you can't stop tomorrow. Sorry to say.
Destiny awaits, Shire Wolves.
Destiny awaits. All right. I'm going to throw it back to you, Kristen.
All right, Andrew. Thanks for having time for us. Not like your mean partner guy from action movie, whatever you are. Really, we like them. They're good guys, both of them. Even though one of them...
Andrew's partner is Ghai? Is that what you just said?
No, I said he was a guy. Just because one guy's name is Guy.
They're both guys, but only one of them is Ghai.
One of them is a guy, and the other's last name is Guy. Guys. No, they're good people. I said they're good guys. Jeez. This is interesting. Well, that's all we have time for today. No, so we do like them. They're good. I like to give them crap though, so it's just what I do. All right, so for this week, coming up, we have obviously the live event. We're not waiting 2 weeks to see the live event this time around. We're actually getting it pretty much right away, so that's awesome. So first off, on Tuesday, we will get the Star Wars match between Ken Knapsack. We also have Joseph Scrimshaw, and I always forget his name, even though I watched him karaoke from Star Wars Explained. Tuesday, we will be getting the match between Ken Knapsack, Joseph Scrimshaw, and Alex Damon from Star Wars Explained. Obviously, these guys already had a pretty epic battle at the Star Wars 5-Way, where all three of them showed they just have an incredible amount of Star Wars knowledge. I know that Alex has been studying like crazy, and really, these three people are just intense with their Star Wars knowledge. So it should be probably one of the coolest things anyone has ever seen live. None of us will be seeing it live, so that sucks. But we will be seeing it in a couple days. So, Manning, who do you predict is going to win this match between Ken and Alex and Joseph?
I have no idea, because these three guys know their Star Wars. Alex is a Star Wars. Joseph knows the Star Wars. Ken knows the Star Wars. I listen to Force Center. And Ken and Joseph just sometimes quiz each other randomly. They've been training like nonstop. So much so that they forgot about some other movies because their brain was so full of Star Wars. And that's a good thing when you're going into these matches like these. And I'm sure, considering Alex makes a video a day regarding this, if you saw them on Jedi Council, you know these guys will bring a level of expertise to the field that probably will make some people who actually work in the Star Wars like, wow, these people actually know what this is. Sadly, I'm going to be at work when this drops, so I'm going to have to wait a good while before I can actually see it, so the anticipation will kill me. But I think at the very end, it's going to be a tough one. But I think this is where we're going to have an upset. I don't think it's going to be Ken. And some people were like, yeah, it's going to have to be him. No, I think we're going to have a descent among the ranks, and we're going to have Joseph. But this is kind of like, it's any one of them can win. I can see a world where any of these people could win. And I would not be shocked. But I think I'm going to throw my dart on the board and say Joseph Scrimshaw is going to win.
All right. Well, we got one for Joseph Scrimshaw. Malcolm, who do you think is going to take this one?
Yeah, this is a hard one to predict because, I mean, my heart says Ken will win because, I mean, he wants it more. But but then we have the problem is I don't want to see it going back and forth between Sam and Ken all the time. So, I mean, I do think that that Alex could maybe steal it away. So, I mean, it's really hard to predict.
Definitely. When you have three guys of this caliber all going at it in this thing, I mean, really, these guys are all masters of Star Wars knowledge. They are all really scary about how much they know about Star Wars. Because I'm a fan of Star Wars. I know things about Star Wars. But when they were doing their match, I was like, shoot, I know like half of these answers. Because they go so in depth about everything that it is entirely impressive.
And let's not forget as well too. We've added since the last match. We've already added an entire whole new movie, so they're gonna have to refresh on that. If they go, are they gonna ask solo questions?
They are gonna ask solo questions in the match. So they're gonna be very high level solo questions, like who played this character. It's not gonna go real in depth for the story because people will not have had a chance to watch it multiple times, but they are going to be answering solo questions in this match. So you'll also have, besides The Last Jedi, you will have solo.
I just hope no one gets so low amount of points.
That's almost as bad as my take 3, Malcolm.
All night. That joke. But Chris, I know Chris Galiski was working really hard on these questions to try and make sure that they're up to the caliber of these competitors. And he's added new categories too for the second and third round. So it should be interesting to see kind of what everyone thinks about some of these stuff that's going on. Who I think is going to win, I honestly don't know. Because I watched Alex and Joseph go against Sam Witwer, and they almost beat Sam Witwer. It was very, very close that they lost that 5-way match, both of them, because they were both right neck and neck at the end. And the same with Ken. Ken almost beat Sam Witwer at the Star Wars belt match at Spectacular. It's difficult to say between these guys because I think they all have an even amount. I don't know how much Ken has been studying. I'm sure it's a ton. But I do know how much Alex has been studying because he posts about it, and his wife Molly posts about it on Twitter all the time. And they've been pre-recording a lot of their episodes so that they have more time to study. And he has been going in depth about everything with The Last Jedi and Solo and explaining all this stuff. So he has so much background knowledge for these new movies that maybe these other guys don't have that in-depth knowledge on yet, just because they haven't accumulated it. I'm sure they have, but that's my reasoning on why I think Alex is going to run away with this thing. Also, I know that he can stand the pressure on the stage because I watched him do karaoke. So there's that. So that's the Star Wars match. The next match of the week is actually an undercard. It's a celebrity match between Alex Wolff and John Roca. This is a weird match. Literally just a weird matchup to me, but maybe Alex knows a lot of movie trivia. I feel like it's just weird to go against one of the #1 competitors in your first match of the thing. Manning, what are your thoughts about this?
I don't really have many thoughts. To me, they're similar to yours about like, okay, I'm ready to see how this ultimately plays out. I'm not as excited for this because my excitement is, of course, with Star Wars, but I'm still looking forward to see how this plays out because I'm expecting it to go one way, favor John, but I'm not sure how Alex is going to fare because I'm not as familiar with their knowledge, movie-based knowledge, but we'll see.
Yeah, it's interesting that they're doing this. Malcolm, what do you think about this?
Yeah, I don't know why this match is like it happening. I mean, it's good to see more celebrities come in, but to pit one of them maybe against the established stars, like, it's interesting. Yeah. I mean, like I was kind of hoping that we would have got like maybe a cutscene that sort of explains why it's happening, which we probably might get maybe at the live event on the first part that comes out on the Tuesday. So maybe we'll get a cutscene if that sort of explains sort of how this match came about or why it's coming about, and make it more sense. But
yeah, I just don't get it, but it would be weird if they would pin someone against John Roca unless he's good. Like, what if he's like one of the
really
best players? He's like Ethan Irwin Jr. We don't know. We don't know. If he wins, it will be one of the biggest surprises of the Schmoedown ever.
If he wins, I want them to bring him back.
Yeah.
And then to cement himself, because so far celebrities have been good, but there haven't been, and some haven't been great, but there haven't been like a celebrity like, unless you count Sam Witwer as a celebrity, which I kind of at this point, but maybe not at this point. But anyway, I would be surprised. So in that regard, I'm looking forward. It's just who they picked to fight Alex I find to be interesting.
You know, there is one celebrity who has done quite well at the Schmoedown, Sam Levine. I just want to throw that out there.
Oh, yeah, right. Got me there.
But
inglorious one.
Yeah, he's pretty inglorious. I think we all have Roca winning this match. Not a big surprise. The last match of the week is the real match for Friday. The one we're, I think, all really excited about. Shire Rolls versus Team Action. Everyone knows what I think about this match. But let's find out. Since we don't know what Manning thinks, he hasn't been around for quite a while. So who do you have between Shire Rolls and Team Action?
I love Team Action. I love the heels that they embody. There's the fun that they bring, the energy they bring to the Schmoedown is something that I've not found in any other competitor. It's just very unique in what they do. That being said, the Shire Wolves are overall the better team, in my opinion, because you have Rachel, you have Clark. They complement each other very well. They have similar yet different loves in that sense. You have horror with Clark. You have more of the Oscar caliber fare with Rachel and stuff like that. They complement each other very well. Ben and Andrew, I love them to death. I love it when they're on the mic, but they have action and adventure in that category. And even then, they can't always seem to pull that off. They have a great general knowledge. It's going to be a tough match. It will be a very tough match. I will say that. It's going to be a nail-biter. I'm hoping it's going to be, but I think at the very end, you're going to have the superiority in Clark and Rachel.
Yeah, yeah, that's where I'm at. Malcolm, who do you think's winning this one?
Yeah, I mean, I'm so jealous of a lot of the friends of Take 3 that are actually there, because Nico, Jeremy, Mike are all
Linus.
there, and also Frank is there harassing Team Action for autographs. But Team Action is an entertaining team, but I do think Shire Wolves is the better team. So Shire Wolves are going to show Team Action some stuff.
Yeah, I'm super excited about this one. I'm nervous about this because I know Rachel has been having a lot of issues with the actually being on the stage. She's not a born performer. I mean, when you remember her coming out in her first couple matches, she was very much just like very nervous, and she just came out to answer the questions and did nothing else. And she grew into that. And being on stage is something that not everyone is capable of doing. Clark has a lot of experience being out. I mean, she's a host, and so she has that experience being on stage and being in front of people. Obviously, Ben and Andrew both being, interviewers and hosts and actors. I mean, they have the experience. Rachel is really the only person who doesn't have the experience to get in the right mindset to be on stage and not let things phase them. And she was really nervous earlier in the week on Twitter because there was just a lot of people coming at her, Team Action fans, basically hoping she failed.
Come on, guys.
And I mean, it's cool if you're into the K-fob, guys, but don't take it too far. I mean, that's really, ooh, yeah. I mean, I get it, but
one of the things that I find interesting too is that because of how good on the mic that Ben and Andrew are, I'm afraid that they could get into the heads of Clark and Rachel, because nothing can phase those two guys whatsoever, no matter what you say. I mean, Roka and Nos couldn't do that, and they're right, to me, they're near to the caliber as well that they are in terms of just throwing down at the mic. Clark and Rachel are not at that level, as amazing as they are as competitors, for better or for worse, and that's what I'm afraid of, that they're going to be able to get inside their head and perfect their performance, and that's the way I can see Action taking this, and that's what kind of concerns me in that regard. But hey, prove me wrong, Action. Prove me wrong, or don't. Or don't prove me wrong. You know what?
Please don't. I'd prefer if you didn't.
True. That's why I said maybe.
Maybe. But you know, that's where I'm nervous is exactly what you're saying, is like, you know, they're going up against these guys who just go after people, and Clark can take care of herself and Rachel can take care of herself, but putting them in this position where it's live and the crowd's going to be there, depending on how that crowd leans, I know there's going to be a lot of Action fans. That's all I'm saying. I don't know how many in comparison to the entire, you know, percentage of people showing up are going to be Action fans, but I know that there were a lot of Action fans saying that they were going to this event, and those fans are rabid. I mean, I wouldn't want to go up against anyone with that fan base. So I'm nervous. I'm so nervous about this match, and I want Rachel to do so well because I think that she really is one of the best competitors in the Schmoedown all around. I mean, teams, singles, intergeekdom. She knows her shit, and she deserves to win this match. And I'm not saying Team Action doesn't deserve to win this match, but Rachel has worked so hard to get to where she is in the Schmoedown, where she's not just good at the trivia, she's also coming into her own at the performance of everything and I feel like she's just been working so hard to get to where she is now, that this live event, if they do lose, I feel like that's really going to set her back, and I really don't want that to happen. I do have Shirewolves winning, team loyalty, so I'm just nervous about it. So we'll see. It's probably the most nervous I've ever been for a match, just because Rachel is someone that I do consider to be a friend, and I just really would like her to do well and to not freak out about this. So I'm nervous for her. She's gonna do well. She'll do perfectly fine. I'm very nervous.
Sending good vibes to Rachel.
Yeah, I'm literally sending her like Lord of the Rings gifts once it starts. Like,
it's all good.
I already sent one. I'm probably going to send another one once we're done recording. So, but we're going to, at that, end the episode. And we did drop a Clark somewhere along the way. You can find him at some sort of thing, Twitter, I guess.
Honestly, you can find him.
And hosting Subtly Soundtracks.
You can find him at Chris Clark 8788. Those numbers mean nothing. You can also find him hosting Suddenly Soundtracks. There was one that dropped, and it was with a guy, and the one with Alex Wolf. No. Paul Wolf is too many names today.
Wait, what? Alex
too many
Wolf?
names today. Paul Wolf. The episode with Paul Wolf about Dream Girls is dropping shortly, or did drop on the 1st.
It dropped.
Yes. I know what I'm talking about, kind of. I knew it was coming up. So definitely check that out. He's also got a ton more coming up. And also Family Game Night, where you can watch a bunch of us be idiots while someone else plays. All right, there's that. And let's find out where you can find Malcolm. Where can we find you, Peter Jackson impersonator?
You can find me all over the place. I do trivia matches on There'll Be Trivia, team matches with Manning, who's my partner in that, and I do a whole bunch of stuff. I'm hosting my own show, which is starting in a couple of weeks, called Rankum, and on Take 3, and I've got my own YouTube channel, Malcolm's Middle-earth Media.
Definitely super excited for your new show. It sounds really interesting. Cannot wait for it to actually arrive. We've been waiting and waiting for a graphic. Manning, now that you're back in whatever capacity you are actually back in, where can we find you?
You can find me at Twitter as usual at Cine_man. That's CINE_MANN. I still can do that very well now after all this time. And also, you can check my YouTube channel, Manning Franks. I recently just posted my short film that I did for my entire capstone of my entire college career. If you want to find out, it's Don't Forget Me. So it's my senior production. If you want to see that, give it a like, give it a view. It just means the world because I put my heart and soul into that thing. As well as keep an eye out because there will be another show returning to Take 3 in the future. And once we get that all situated, look forward to talking more about movies and awards? Question mark? Wink, wink.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe. You'll know what this is. You don't know.
Yeah, we don't know. It could be anything. Abe, do you want to? No. Okay.
No.
No? Okay. All right. Well, we always want to thank Abe, our wonderful editor and stuff. So thanks, Abe. You did a great job, even if I didn't want to listen today. I'm feeling very I'm rebellious today. You know what? I rebel.
We may or may not have had porgs appear throughout the episodes.
Yeah, it's like Abe just put porgs randomly appearing throughout the video.
But we do want to thank Abe. He does a great job with these, and they're a lot of fun for us to watch after all the edits have been done. So I'm excited to see this one. It should be great. Full of lasagna. You can find me as always, Smith_K10, the number, not the word, right on Twitter, Instagram, or Stardust. You can also find me here doing exactly what I'm doing right now, hosting the summit. And also on Friday reactions and some other videos, and family game nights and all that, right on Take 3 Productions. So yeah, that's it for all of us. We want to thank you guys all for watching. My dog is eating a cardboard box, so I got to get the heck out of here. We hope you all had a great summit, and we hope that you all take care.
Our dog might be asked once.